Hi, welcome to part 2 of How to Adult. Now in the first video, I talked about the Circle of Life framework. Do you still remember what are the 4 parts to it? The acronym MAST. M for mindset, A for aptitude, S for social, T for terrain. So in this video, I'll be talking about mindset. Now when we come to think of mindset, it has a lot to be linked with this thing called end in mind. In Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, one of the habits is to begin with the end in mind. Now, let me explain why mindset is linked directly to this thing called begin with the end in mind. You see, when we think about the end in mind, we normally refer it to a goal. So when someone has a goal that is set up, now the quality of this goal will determine how this person approach the whole project or the whole situation. And to have this correct mindset, right, that is determined by this goal, let me share an example. You know, I'm in the Bosses Network group, whereby different bosses talk to each other, and sometimes some of them will complain to me, oh, I got this staff who is not very motivated. And I say, hey, when a staff is not motivated, normally there is this underlying problem of a very short-term goal or a very low-quality goal. What is a low-quality goal? Now, if you set aside on a goal at work to just make an income, you just need to get a job to have an income. That compared to someone who get a job and they set their aside to be their best, to add value to the company, and to make the company the best in that particular industry. If someone sets aside with such a goal, and you can call that an end in mind, wow, can you guess how this person will work, the attitude they will have, and even when they meet obstacles and challenges, the whole approach of the second person that set aside to make this company the best company will be quite different from someone who just want to get a job and earn an income. And think about it, during the time of an appraisal and during the time of a promotion, who do you think will get the promotion? And therefore, if you have a better quality goal, you will have a better quality outcome. Now, having said that, we understand that to set a higher goal is not everyone's cup of tea. And sometimes people ask me why people don't want to set a higher goal or a higher quality goal. And the answer lies in programming. Many of us, we are programmed in a certain way from childhood all the way till now. And there are actually 3 windows of impact, or 3 windows that we can impact and influence a person's life. The first window is the window between age 1 to age 12. And during that time, the influence will be parents and environment most of the time. And the second window is from the age of 13 to the age of 21. And in that second window, the influence will be peers, friends, and a person that they respect, maybe like a teacher. The third window, it is from the time of 22 to the age of 35. And this third window, most of the time, is during work. So it could be a work mentor, or someone like a supervisor above them. And it is not everyone that have the fortunate opportunity to have a good influence in the first window and the second window. Sometimes, like we don't have that opportunity to be positively influenced during that first 2 windows. Therefore, it makes this third window exceptionally important if we want to change the outcome of somebody's life by changing the way they have the correct mindset, by changing the way they have a goal. So, therefore, it's also why Yihan and me decided to focus and really zoom in to this group, the young adult groups, that is from the age of 22 to 35, this particular group to really reach out to. Hopefully, we can have a positive impact to impact this third window of yours. Now, how does this programming work? And this programming actually is a summation of all the inner voice you have in the 3 windows. And let me give you some examples. I have 4 examples here to give you. What are some of the things I call them the inner voice? I have this friend. he was a great entrepreneur when I met him. So at a very young age, he is very capable, he's very resourceful, and he's one of the smartest and most capable person I know. So I really predicted that he will go on to be a very successful entrepreneur and his business will be all over the world. After 15 years, I caught up with him again. And when I checked in with him, his business did not take off. In fact, he have moved from one business to another business to another business, and all of them have failed. And right now, he is taking a part-time job in gig economy. I was really surprised when I heard that. So when I caught up with him, I asked him, so what happened in the last 15 years? So he shared with me he have betrayal from one partner and to another partner and some bad business decisions. And after a while, he decided he just call it quits. Business is not his thing. He will just go and find whatever he can to make ends meet. Now, with a bit of probing, he shared with me, after all these things happened, he recalled that when he was young, his mom brought him to the fortune teller. And the fortune teller told him that you don't have the life, you are not destined to be a business owner because you will be cheated by your partners and your business will fail. And he said, I have forgotten about that until when all these bad things happened to me, then I recall that actually someone warned me before. Wow! So I thought about it and I concluded actually he didn't forget. He might have consciously forgotten about this, but his subconscious mind remember about this thing the fortune teller tell him. So we have to be very careful because this thing that the fortune teller told him has become his inner voice subconsciously. And therefore, when everything occurs which looks like a coincidence or destined to be, it has become an inner voice that became his self-fulfilling prophecy. So the second story I have is a girl who is very jovial, very happy, very likable personality. And whenever you meet her, you'll find that, she's just such a nice person. So one day I just suggested to her, I say, hey, you have such a nice personality. Have you ever considered doing sales before? Because you're so likable, I'm sure many people will buy from you. Then she said, no, Sam. Not only I will not do sales, never in my life I will do sales. So I was taken aback. I said, hey, wow, that is really something, for you to say that you may not consider, maybe it's not for you now, maybe in future, but you actually say you will never ever consider again. So I asked her, why do you say so? She said, my dad actually is a salesperson. So after my mom married him, he did pretty well and he went on to earn quite a good income, and then he had an affair. And then the family split and the dad left the family. So the mom actually said to her since young that you should never go into sales and should never be associated with salespeople, nor you should marry a salesperson. And she really took that in and she don't want to associate with salespeople at all because to her, salespeople are people that do not care for their families. Now, I know it's just one isolated incident, but when this voice just resonates in your life for a long time, this can become absolute truth. And I think that if she would not have that voice and she got into sales, I totally believe that she would have done very well. Now this third story that I have is someone that Skype a lot. Now since army that I know him, he Skype all the time. Any opportunity that he can find, he will just Skype and take off to take a rest. And of course, this went on to build up into his adult life, and that happened as well. And then I asked him, hey, why do you do all these things? Then he told me, my mom said this to me, don't work so hard for your boss, because at the end of the day, right, you only make the company richer, you still draw the same pay. And then when I asked further, he told me that the mom, who was not formally educated, went on to take a job. And in that particular workplace, the bosses and the supervisor always just pile out work for her. And each and every time after she done the hard work, the bosses and the supervisor will take the credit. So with the experience that she have, she told him that like you should never work so hard because all the credit will be taken by the bosses and you make the bosses richer but not yourself. And again, that inner voice was taken as an absolute truth. And therefore, impacting him till today, from army till today, he has always just giving the minimum or the bare minimum that he needs, leaving office on the dot. Because he has that belief that working hard only make your bosses richer. But on the other hand, if he would have worked hard and give the best to the company, I believe in a good company, a company that appreciates stuff like that, he would have gotten multiple promotions and he would be one of the partners of a firm. And because hard work will be appreciated when you meet the right company and the right bosses. Last story. Since we are here talking about standing out and having the opportunity to get that job, find the opportunity that you have, there's this person that I know, he actually struck Toto, and the amount that he won, right, is equivalent to half the lifetime income of an average Singaporean. And to think about it, hey, he's only in the mid-40s. To strike Toto at that age, actually, he's set for life, right? Now, so what happened to him is pretty tragic. Within 1 year plus, he not only lose all the money that he win, he became a bankrupt and he lose his family. So, when I asked him, what happened actually? What actually caused you to lose all this money? Then he shared with me. He was bankrupt twice. He had a failed marriage. And in those times, when all these things failed around him, his mom always tell him, you are such a loser. You are always just losing things. You are not keeping the things that you have. Even a marriage you will lose. And when he struck the Toto, the inner voice came back to haunt him. That now that he has this money, he wants to make sure he will not lose them again. So he put to everyone else. He put to people to invest for him. He started a business which he know nothing about. And then he went on to give the mom and the siblings money to show them that he has the money and he can afford it. And after bad investment and some friends that cheat him of the money, by 1 year plus, most of the money is gone. What did I learn here? The inner voice has such a powerful impact in our life that sometimes we don't realize. And even in decision making of whether do we want to set a goal that is of a higher quality is determined by the inner voice. So have you ever examined what kind of inner voice do you have that is stopping you right now? And it could have been a very harmless passing statement by our loved ones or someone that we respect. It might even be an inner vow you make to yourself that you didn't know about it. And that has a very powerful link to right now, maybe some of the undesired results that you are facing or even the situation that you are in right now. Because results is the byproduct of the goals that we set. And if we didn't set a goal that is matching to our result, most of the time we are being hindered by those inner voice that's preventing us to step up, to take that bold step, to be more courageous. And I want you to start to examine some of those inner voice that you have. So let's do some fun work right now. Write down some of the inner voice that you reflected and share with me in the comments box below. And I will respond to you personally. So do the fun work and I will look forward to see you in the next video. Bye.